This is crazy, bro. I mean, so you go to an HBCU, you work your butt off to get through at least 3 years of school.
Yep.
You can't go back because you need to raise $40,000. And I have my thoughts on school. I think education is so important, but I think the cost of school sometimes it's not worth the education.
It's getting difficult.
It is.
It's getting difficult.
Especially when you have people like today making $1 million on the internet.
Yeah.
Why am I going to school?
With no education.
Yeah, with no education. You know, why am I going to school? Why am I paying you $100,000, $200,000 to get a 4-year degree to go make $60,000 a year? When I can go out here, bust my butt, learn a couple of things off of YouTube, get connected with people like Corey, and go make 6 figures in 1 month just from selling the course.
It's really crazy because I love education. I believe in education, but I believe that it has to be refined and changed in order to keep up with the times. Like, why isn't there a social media major? Why isn't there why is there not an e-commerce major? Why not? Because if you're going to teach what's going
relevant.
on.
Yeah,
like a lot of that stuff we talk about. I'm in poli sci talking about something that I don't even care about. Like, bro, I don't care about who started this and who did this because that doesn't make sense for what I'm trying to do. And so I always tell people I think you should go to college for your first 1 semester or 1 year, get the experience, meet the friends, get the connections, and if you want to leave, then
bounce.
Have a plan. But one thing that was brought to my attention is like people have business professors that don't own businesses. And to me, it's crazy to be like, oh, I'm a business teacher, but I'm like, oh, so what's your business? And they're like, oh, I don't have a business. I'm just reading from the book and I'm teaching you what I. So that's one thing that bothered me about education is like, you could have somebody that's teaching me business but don't own a business or have never owned a business. Like you've only worked for somebody. So how can you tell me how to run a business and you don't know what it's like to run a business? So I really would like to change some of the structures. And I think that there is a way to have education done the right way, but things have to be changed. And some people are so indoctrinated into old stuff that they're not willing to switch up how they do things.
Well, let's get it. Let's shift it up a gear. So you leave school, you start making all this money. Eventually, you go back to support Black colleges. Yeah. Today, to this day, give us a little snapshot of the success you have today, and then let's rewind and talk about, okay, how can someone else get there?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, today, so I always say we're like working in about 10% of our total capacity, I think.
Okay.
There's so many things that we haven't done, but now with our new transition, we just moved out of our warehouse, so we're now in the fulfillment center. Which is going to allow me and Justin to only focus on marketing and branding and no shipping.
So for the people watching us, explain what is a fulfillment center?
Yeah, so at first we were doing everything in-house.
Okay.
So we get an order, we fold, bag, ship, make all that, and then ship out.
Yeah.
30 staff people, like it was a whole...
You had 30 staff?
Yeah, there was a point in time we had 30 staff.
How old are you again?
I'm 29.
And you had 30 staff.
Yeah. Now, the reason why we don't have 30 staff anymore is because I'm not great at managing people.
Yo, at least you know your strengths and your weaknesses.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's my friend. I'm like, man, you was late. All right, bro, just don't be late tomorrow.
Right.
I didn't want to be that person, you know what I'm saying? So my sister manages people. She's the warehouse manager, and she ain't like me.
Oh,
she on that.
Man.
So,
yeah.
But I'm not the best management of people. That's not what my talents lie.
That's real.
But self-awareness is extremely important. And because I'm self-aware, I know that. But we did that. We have a fulfillment center, which is now somebody makes, ships, and does everything for us. So I don't have to manage anybody outside of my lead team, which is me, Justin, and my sister, and my mom who runs our nonprofit. Wow. So now we have 4 to 5 people on our team directly.
Okay.
Now we have people outside of our team. We have our financial advisor. We have all those people, but they're not like support. They have other clients as well.
Right.
Up to date, I think the first year we really took off. So we technically started like 3 years ago. 2018 is technically when we started. We started in 2012 when I was in college.
Right.
But I didn't take it seriously until 2018.
Okay.
First year, I think we did like $1 million. And that was pretty crazy. Yeah. I remember me and Justin having a conversation of like, man, what if we could make $5,000 a month? I remember that conversation. Like, we were like dreaming to make $5,000 a month. Mind you, me and Justin were both working for Tyler Perry. So we both quit our job at Tyler Perry to do Support Black Colleges full time because we felt like we could blow it up. So we took a risk and a leap of faith. And obviously the results paid off year 1. We did about $1 million. The next year, which was 2019, 2020, last year, we did about $4.8 million. something along that lines. And that was unreal.
Yeah.
So part of it was our Black Friday.
Yeah.
We did $1 million in 2 days.
In 2 days.
2 days.
I want you to put me on this camera. $2 million in 2 days.
No, 1 million. 1 million in 2 days.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
1 million in 2 days.
Yeah, 1 million in 2 days. And
Well, some people won't even make that in 15 years.
Yeah.
It's gonna take them 15 years to make $1 million. If they making $50,000, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A year.
it was crazy because I told Justin I wanted to make $1 million.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Why a million?" I was like, "I just want to make $1 million. That was my goal. I didn't know why that number worked for me, but that's just what I wanted."
Right.
And the first day, so we started Black Friday on like Wednesday. We had did like 200,000. The next day we had done like 300,000, and on Black Friday we had did like 400,000 or 500,000. And so that Sunday, Saturday and Sunday, it kind of dropped off because I'm like, "Oh, we good." Like whatever. On Cyber Monday, we did buy one get one free hoodies, and that's when we like
It just went crazy.
it went nuts. I'll never do that again. By the way,
You'll never do it again?
never
For
No.
Black Friday?
Well, now we have a fulfillment center maybe because
Okay.
that worked.
The work,
So we sold 34,000 items, and it totaled to 15,000 orders.
Were y'all printing everything yourselves?
Everything.
You were doing everything?
Yeah. So just a quick lesson, not to get too far off of the
Nah,
success.
let's
but
go. Let's talk about it.
It's important because a lot of times we ask for the success and we ask for things, but we're not actually prepared for it, right? So, listen. So I'm like, I want $1 million, but I didn't understand the work that came with $1 million of money.
Right.
And so 34,000 items and 15,000 orders with even 30 people who are not all super efficient is a lot. We didn't end up shipping out all the orders until probably the 1st of February.
Oh, so you had some people upset?
Oh man. I thought we were gonna close. I thought it was gonna shut down.
Are you serious? Did you have refunds because you took so
Oh
long?
yeah, a lot of refunds. We didn't have more than $20,000 worth of refunds.
Okay.
But it was a lot of transparency. Because what I didn't tell you is the week before Black Friday, our warehouse actually flooded. So we lost about $20,000 to $30,000 worth of merchandise already.
Corey, you talking good.
I forgot about that. But
So what I hear you saying is, and I want people to hear this, I think everyone says, like, I got to make $1 million. I got to make $2 million. I want to be wealthy. I want to be rich. Do you have the systems in place to sustain what you're asking for?
exactly.
And for me as a spiritual man, I always ask myself, well, if I haven't made $1 million yet, it's because God he already knows you're not prepared for that yet.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of, to whom much is given, much is required.
No, for sure.
You're going to get $1 million worth of merchandise. You need to have the systems in place
exactly right.
to make that happen. And it sounds like you all had to really go over and beyond.
Man, we had to do triple the work because our systems weren't in place. And on top of that, I always feel like everything happens for a reason, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
the week before, we were in another warehouse and it flooded. Me and Justin were in North Carolina doing, I forgot why we were there. I think we were doing homecoming or something. I don't know what we were doing. And one of our people that went to the warehouse, I guess he had forgot something. He was like, "Yo, it's flooded in here." It was like, this is at nighttime. It had been raining in Atlanta a lot, but like not enough to flood. Like our warehouse got flooded. So me and Justin came back the next day, and one thing we learned was don't put your merchandise on the floor, first of all.
Right.
We had a lot of regular boxes, and they were all soaking wet at the bottom. So like I said, we lost about $20,000 worth of merchandise. But you know what? When it happened, I was like, well, one, we need a new warehouse because this is not going to work.
Yeah.
So we got a new warehouse like in between that week and the week of Black Friday. We moved our warehouses completely. Not only that, but I'm like, yo, I asked God for $1 million. I prayed for it. And I'm like, yo, we should do this. And something bad happened. So when that happened, I was like, I know we're about to make $1 million. I knew we were about to make $1 million because something happened. And I was like, he tested me and trying to see if I'm really about this life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I'm really about it. Like, we got moved in. We've talked to our manufacturer, can you get us this stuff again? And let's negotiate prices. I know this is not fair to y'all, but for us, we already lost the money, So we ended up getting an order of stuff. It obviously didn't come out by Black Friday, but it came not too long after.
Okay.
And we were able to think about some marketing strategies, how we're going to sell this, how we're going to do this. And it made us really lock in and prepare for the $1 million weekend. And so I think because that happened, we were able to, okay, cool, we really still about this, we want to do it. We were able to focus and figure out, okay, what do we need? What are the 3 or 4 things that we really need to focus on and leave all the other stuff away so that we can make this $1 million? So we made the $1 million. And then, like I said, the systems weren't in place on the back end. So it was a lot of like, all right, now how do we fulfill all these orders or like make people happy at least?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like, okay, well, we don't have black, but would you like to do a navy blue? I don't have this. Would you like? And I'm like, all right, well, let me give you 2 extra hoodies on this. And then we were really doing a lot of that. And, you know, as a black-owned business, unfortunately, when you're doing wrong, everybody want to talk about you.
Absolutely.
And so it was a lot of that. And I just I started having to go live more and show my face. And hey, my name's Corey. I'm the CEO. And I like really had to embrace what was going on. Like, look, this is the warehouse. This is what's going on. As you can see, there's 15 people in here literally packing orders all day. We had a day shift, a night shift. So long story short, we ended up getting out of that. But that was one thing. So we had the $1 million weekend.